What leaps or jumps is your heart calling you to make? You know, like bursting inside of you, you know that there's something more that you were placed on this earth to do rather than the struggle that has been unfolding around you. Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you how I started a journey 10 years ago that I started just so I could solve some immediate problems around me, and how it's unfolded into this beautiful journey of personal growth and development, and how you can just move past that image of fear that's keeping you stuck and trapped where you're at today. So 10 years ago, I was at the height of misery in my life. I was in a relationship. I'd been married for 17 years. That relationship wasn't working out anymore. I had a boss that did not like women in females in management positions. And I knew that the drama and the fighting and arguing that was happening in my home was not a great role model for my kids, who were 7, 11, and 14 at the time. And I knew there was something inside of me that just always knew that, like, wow, I'm meant for so much more than this. But yet I was caught in this cycle of not being able to see how to get out of it. So I started this journey seeking just to find some answers to those immediate problems around me. How did I have the courage to move on out of this relationship that wasn't working anymore? How did I have the courage to stand up to a boss that was extremely difficult to work for? And how did I find within me a way to role model a new way of being to my kids? Those were the things that spurred me to seek for some answers. And what I found was a journey that unfolded over the last 10 years into the greatest personal spiritual development journey that I didn't know existed. What I've learned is there are 6, some people might say 5, some people might say 7 levels of personal development that we go through on our journey. And the first one is survival, where we are just seeking, we have to have the immediate needs of shelter, food, and safety, our shelter and our food, our immediate needs of survival provided for. And then we move to the next level of, sorry, I'm going to look at my notes just a moment here. We move to the next level of stability. So stability is where we have those needs met. We know where our income is coming from to pay the bills. We know that we just have a level of stability in our lives that we can depend upon. That can be, again, emotional, physical, financial. There's 5 different areas that we create all of these levels in. So emotional, physical, mental, financial, and spiritual. So then we move on to connection. We have to feel like we're connected to people who care about us, who genuinely have our best interest at heart, and are not. Isolation is the opposite of connection. So if you're feeling isolated in your life and like you're cut off from people who really genuinely care about you, or you feel like you don't have support systems that support you, then this is a level where you're at, where then you get to begin rebuilding these support systems so that you have a level of support in your life. I'm going to share with you a little bit what my life has looked like at each of these levels. Then once you move on from the level of connection, it's self-assurance, gaining that confidence in yourself that you do have the ability to move on. And at this space, when you begin to gain that confidence and that recognition, internal recognition for yourself, you also get it from the people around you, because you're no longer seeking it first from them, but you found it internally. And you no longer have to seek it from other people, but by the virtue of giving it to yourself, you then also receive it from others. It also can look like success in your job, recognition for the accomplishments that you've been doing. And then we move on to the fun space of growth, of unlimited potential growth, where you've now grown past, you're able to see that fear, doubt, worry, all of the lower level emotions are not, they're just illusions that keep you trapped in a space. And you've now see that you've gained tools and resources to be able to move through those into new levels of living. And that then actually moves you to the last step, which is self-actualization or complete fulfillment, where you are 100%, your physical world is 100% in alignment with your internal spiritual world. There's no more masks, there's no more pretenses. You are 100% who you are on the inside and on the outside. So if I think of this journey as this, where we start out where our physical world doesn't match anything of what our internal world does, and as we more clearly define our internal world, it demands changes in our external world, and they move closer and closer and closer together. So what that looked like for me on that survival level of my changes, I had to know that I had to first determine that I could financially provide for myself. A lot of women give away their financial power by letting someone else decide what their financial status is going to look like. And I'm telling you, if you're a woman out here that's done that, it's okay, but it's time now for you to begin taking back ownership of your ability to provide for yourself and do that abundantly. And you can do that no matter where you're at. You can do that step by step. Stability looked like then, as I adjusted to this new leap of life, I created stability as a mom who was solely providing for her kids and making sure that everyone got where they needed to be, and we developed a new way of living. And then as I was doing that, I began to develop new connections and support systems, new people who actually were at the same space as I was on this journey forward, new friends, coaches, mentors who actually were pulling me forward to this greater level of possibility in life. And as I regained my own confidence and self-assurance, then I was able to step into this more vibrant, thriving version of me who recognized my own potential, who recognized the things that were around the successes that I had. And then in return, other people began recognizing those successes. And then I was able to take a leap into this unlimited potential of growth area, where I began to realize that anything is possible. When you become fearless, you become limitless. So when you begin to understand that fear is just an illusion and that you can take a step forward through it and create these unlimited potentials, then anything becomes possible in your life. And as I began to realize this, began developing the tools and strategies to move forward step by step through fear, then I became closer to this space. I don't know if I've ever will arrive completely and fully at the next level of what is considered self-actualization, but I feel like I'm on this beautiful journey to be there. I'm on this journey where I'm now able to share my mission, my message that with the world, and that is what is in alignment with my soul. And for you, that doesn't have to look like going on social media and sharing things publicly. It just means that your life is 100% in alignment with whatever it is that your soul and your life purpose is calling you to be. So what keeps people from making these jumps? Well, there's two things: fear and not having the right tools and strategies in place. Both of those things can be compensated for by having a good guide along the journey. So if you're listening to this, if you're a part of my network, then you already are seeking out a guide to help you along the journey. Now, here's the next thing. You have to take action, because without action, you never take progress forward. And maybe you're unclear about what direction that you need to take action in. And maybe it looks like there's 4 or 5 different options. Well, guess what? Taking a step of action to figure out, even understanding what would my next step be in this direction? What would my next step be in this direction? And then saying, okay, I'm going to take a step this way and see where that leads me. Or I'm going to take a step this way and see where it leads me. Because it's only until you're in action that you really can understand what the clarity comes on your direction. So, but here's the thing. You have to have accountability to continue taking action, and you have to have someone who can help you work through those fears and help you to understand those new tools and strategies as you move forward. So I'm inviting you to either send me a private message and say, I'm ready to chat. I'm ready to have that guidance, because here's the thing. My coaches that I worked with helped me to move at least 3 times faster through some of this, the fear and the illusions, than I would have been able to do it on my own. Or I would have just been completely stuck and never even gotten past it. And I wasn't willing to risk that. So how fast are you ready and willing to go? Reach out and let's chat if you're saying, I'm just so ready to reach out, to get going. And if that doesn't feel like the step that's ready for you, then check out this month's class on leaping into life, because it's going to give you 2 in-depth lessons on how to take the next step into life. And it is going to give you a group session where everybody gets to come together and decide what their next action step forward is. So I'll leave the link to that below. But there's 2 options for you to leap into action. So leave a comment below about what next action you're taking, whether you already know what that step is and you're going to take it, or you're going to send me a message to chat. And if you're going to send me a message or you want me to reach out, just send a wave, or you can register for the upcoming class. Okay, I'm excited to see you on this life, personal, spiritual development journey. Bye-bye.